everyone. Thank you for tuning in. This is Event Gems, and my guest today is Yvette Harris. Yvette Harris is the guiding force behind the boutique strategic public relations firm, Harris Public Relations, which has risen to become one of the top powerhouse public relations firm operating for over 20 years and is headquartered in Miami, Florida. She has been recognized for numerous awards for her involvement in arts, business, and in the cultural community, and some of her clients have been featured in some of the most prominent media outlets such as Essence, Upscale, Huffington Post, the Wall Street Journal, Essence Magazine, Thrive Global, OK Player Africa, and so much more. So I was super excited to have her on as a guest because she's just one of those women that I admire and I love the work that she does. And I felt like she would have such valuable information to share with you all today and gems that she can drop that you can utilize as you go forward as small business owners and that you can utilize to strategically promote your business and strategically promote your events as well. So welcome, Yvette Harris, everyone.
Thank you for having me. I know we had a little sidebar moment that this took a little bit of time to organize because of my wonderfully crazy schedule, but I'm really, really excited and I'm excited to share and yeah, looking forward to it.
Awesome. Yes, I'm glad we finally got a chance to coordinate and that you are here on Event Gems today. So I wanted to jump right into it. So I know a lot of our guests, a lot of our viewers, they know that you're a PR expert and they're probably wondering, well, how do I get press for my event? As a small business owner, how can we garner that type of press so we can market our events or our business? So talk to us about some of those strategies that we can utilize.
So I suggest to people, and everybody that knows me really well, they laugh because I'm a commemorative month-aholic. Mm-hmm. So what is that? There's a month, there's a day for everything. Mm-hmm. It's National something Day. It's National Wine Day, National Midwifery Month, mm-hmm. Travel and Tourism Week. So there's always something that you can kind of figure out, especially if you're, new and up and coming and you might not have a whole lot of things that you're either doing or initiatives, mm-hmm. but you might be a midwifery. You might be a midwife, right? Mm-hmm. So there's a midwifery week just for you. So what we do is we will curate some Q&A, right, mm-hmm. for our clients to the media. So the funny thing is always, I'll contact someone, maybe it's Channel 7, and I'll say, oh, I know you probably already have somebody for National Midwifery Week, and you could hear them on the other line going, what? Because they don't want to admit that they don't even know what National Midwifery Week is.
Right, exactly.
And, you could, and they're like, okay, well, tell me more. Like, do you have somebody we can interview? Yeah, well, I just happen to have a midwife who, just opened up her practice in North Miami Beach, and, she can give some tips in terms of alternatives if women don't want to necessarily go and get a C-section. But might want to have a natural childbirth. Mm-hmm. Okay, well, when can she come in? And this is how it kind of works. It sounds really simple, but it's kind of funny in a sense. But it just gives you an idea that you can position your company or your initiative within that scope of whatever that day or week or month is. Mm-hmm. Just finished doing some PR for a client of ours. It was Computer Science Education Week. Right. And just wrote a book. Right. So I made a suggestion that she, launch the book during that week. Mm-hmm. And because she'd have a little bit more legs to, the media was like checking for it and, things like that. So I would just encourage people to figure out what it is that you have. What do you try? First of all, you should have something that's newsworthy. Right. Because there are people that call me and they're like, well, I need a publicist. And I'm like, mm-hmm. okay, well, what is it that you have? Right. And by the end of the conversation, it's kind of like, well, I don't think you really need a publicist just yet. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. But it's good that they're kind of thinking in the very
thinking ahead.
Yeah. Because sometimes what happens is people will call me after the fact. Mm-hmm. And it's like they've either done something or put something out there and it's not necessarily correct, or you have one opportunity to make a good impression with the media, mm-hmm. So
when is the right time then to contact you?
So you should first, whenever you're starting your business, mm-hmm. just like you get an accountant, you open up your bank account, mm-hmm. you should be thinking, what my marketing and PR strategy going to be?
Mm-hmm.
And that I should have one. So you might not necessarily know what is it going to be, but you should be aware that you should have one.
Mm-hmm.
Depends on your budget. It depends on what you're launching. It could be something as simple, because a lot of people, what happens is people will say, oh, well, I want you to do a press release. At the beginning of when you're starting a business, you should figure out, how am I going to get my message out to my target audience?
Mm-hmm.
What is that going to look like in the grand scheme of things?
Mm-hmm.
So that you don't wait until you've done all this amazing stuff and then you're like, nobody knows about it.
Right.
So it needs to really be a very big part of the beginning of your business. The same way that you get a logo on your website,
Mm-hmm.
thinking about what your marketing and PR is going to be is really kind of key.
Okay.
Because I think I was saying that a lot of people will call me and say, hey, I really need a press release. And I go, okay. So what's going to happen with the press release once I write it?
Mm-hmm.
And then they go silent. They're like, yeah, we hadn't thought about that.
Mm-hmm.
Because some people think that PR is just a press release, and
Right.
it's not.
Right.
To be told, a lot of times we don't even send the press release out to the media outlets unless they ask
That's
for it.
interesting.
So press releases, because media people don't have time to read it.
To read, right? Exactly.
Like, we're not going to read 1,000 press releases
Mm-hmm.
in a day or more. We just can't do it.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to figure out what your PR pitch is going to be and get that, craft that and get that over to them and pitch the story. And then if they turn around and say, okay, hey, I'd love more information. Do you have a press release? Then you send it to them.
Oh, that's great.
First, 9 times out of 10, they're going to send you back. If you have a relationship with them, it's a little bit different. But if you don't, if you're blindly sending it to, CBS in New York or something like that, and they don't know they're not really checking for you because you don't really have a relationship with them.
Mm-hmm.
So they may look at it if it's somebody that pitches to them all the time.
Mm-hmm.
But the other, if they don't know the person, it might kind of get lost in all of the other, emails that they get.
Exactly.
And, figuring out what your key message is and what your newsworthy story is a big component of, figuring out how do you get your press.
Yeah, I think that's interesting because I think a lot of times, like you said, think about, okay, well, I need to get my press release and I'm going to send it out to these media outlets. But I think that's a word of caution for everyone is these people are busy. They are getting a lot of messages in their inbox. They're not checking for you unless they know you like that.
Tell you,
right.
Like, they're really clear. Suzanne McDowell, who a lot of people know also, is a good friend of mine and a publicist, and we did a media tour where, along with Anthony Jackson, and we went to a lot of the media outlets in South Florida, and they all said the same thing. We get 2,000-3,000 press releases a day. We don't read.
Wow.
But I can't really explain that to my client to the point where we're never going to be able to not write the release. So there are people who we just know that that's going to be something that we're always probably going to do. Because it does have a life of its own. You can put it on your website. You can put it through, your Constant Contact or your MailChimp. You can post it. So there are definitely
it
ways
can have legs. Right. Exactly.
Not necessarily to the media outlet.
Okay. So at least that's a different strategy that people can deploy with their press release. So it's not necessarily, you don't have to think about it as you have to be pushing it to a press or a news outlet, but you can push it out yourself, and hopefully someone might pick it up, or a blogger might pick it up, or other people might share it, and that gives some validity to what it is that you're doing.
Exactly. And and I think a lot of people don't, when you're thinking about PR of your company or marketing or anything, a lot of times we don't even tell the people that know us what we're doing.
That's so true. That is so true. Yes.
You'll see somebody and you're like, what? I didn't even know you were, like, why didn't you tell me?
Yeah.
And they just don't share. So I really always encourage my clients. It's like, listen, share it on social media, post it. I guarantee you there are going to be at least 5 people, if not more. They're going to say, oh my gosh, I need that service.
Right.
Like, who knew?
Yeah. You're sitting on jewels that you're not even letting the world know.
Internal network of people. So I always say, start there, because you never know where that's going to take you.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, because and I think that's exactly right. Because one of the things that I do, especially when I'm doing events, is I reach out to people in my network, my friends, and like, hey, I'm doing this. This is my upcoming event. But I do feel that sometimes I always think, well, I wonder if they're going to get annoyed that I'm constantly sending them invites to these things. And so at a certain point, you get apprehensive about continually sharing it
But
with
you know what? The one time that you decide not to send it, they're gonna be like, "Really, girl?
Right,
Really?"
exactly. Like, how come you didn't tell me about that? I'm like, oh, I didn't tell you because, I keep sending you stuff and maybe you might be annoyed.
And just like I always tell my daughter, if those are your real friends,
Yeah,
it's nothing for them to just delete it, ignore
right,
it, or what,
right.
or forward it to somebody else. Because a
Right.
lot of times, I get a lot of emails,
Mhm,
and if it's not something that I can either attend or
mhm,
maybe I don't have an interest in, there's
mhm.
always at least two or three people that I can forward it to that are like, oh my gosh, you know,
Exactly,
this is great.
exactly.
I'm gonna attend. So it has a purpose. So it's just they're not gonna get
Absolutely.
annoyed. Just keep sending, keep sending, keep sending.
Awesome, awesome. So here, persistence is key, people. Persistence
Exactly,
is key.
exactly.
So my other question to you is, I saw that your company's tagline is culturally driven, community minded. So what does that mean to you, and how does that tie into the way that you strategically service your clients?
So, I've been doing this for a very, very long time. I'm going into my
20
23rd
years. Wow.
23rd year, actually,
23rd
1996.
year.
I started.
Amazing.
And, like when you first start out, you're just kind of winging it, and you're not really sure exactly what you want your narrative of your company to be. So you kind of
Mhm,
tried all different types of things,
mhm,
different genres of it could be the music industry, it could be business, it can, my background is actually environmental, because I used to work for the Environmental Protection Agency,
mhm.
you know. So I really found a groove in terms of arts and culture, business, community.
Nice.
And I really, I love working on those things. So those are the things that kind of drive my excitement of getting up every day and going, this is what I'm going to do.
Mhm, mhm.
And the community minded portion of it is just making an intentional commitment to be able to leave a legacy for my daughter, to really be able to say, listen, all of the things that we do, there has to be some sort of community aspect to, what we're doing. And
Mhm.
for me, that's how I try to live my life daily. If there's no, and that's how I kind of select some of the clients that I work for. And, that I pass up a lot of people because I just go, man, just doesn't sit with my spirit. And it's just not something that I'm interested in. Is there a
Right.
community component to it? Or are you open to some sort of community component or impacting? How are we impacting the community?
Gotcha.
So just having that choice and just living my life intentionally,
Mhm.
is what's important to me. So
Great,
just try to
great.
do that in my personal life and in my business life.
Yeah, so what I hear you saying then is you have to have that compass, that internal compass that guides you. And it doesn't just guide your life, but it also guides the way that you approach your business or the way that you select your clients. And you're fortunate enough to be in a situation where you are able to decline some clients who might not be aligned with your tagline or aligned with, how you choose to approach your
Exactly.
business. Yeah, that's
Exactly. Then
amazing.
at the end of the day, we're like, I always say PR people are like salespeople.
Hmm.
We're selling stuff. And so
Hmm.
if I'm not excited about what I'm selling, or if I
Exactly.
convince you to write about it or to attend or whatever, then I'm in a lot of trouble if I'm not excited. Because if I'm
Yeah.
not excited, 9 times out of 10, you are not going to be excited about what I have to offer. You know,
Yes, yes,
so
for
those
sure.
are the things that are very, very key. And those are the things that you learn. That they're not necessarily in the forefront of your mind at the very beginning of when you
Mhm,
start a business.
mhm.
Definitely after you've had some years and some trial and errors, and you just start to really reflect and go, okay, am I going to continue doing this? And if so, what's going to be the driving force? And what am I excited about? And what,
Right.
the day that I wake up and I'm not excited about PR, I'm going to be a dog walker or something.
Got you. So if
So,
you see Yvette being a dog walker, we know what happened. Okay.
girl, what you doing? I'm walking the dogs, all 10 of them. Well, I guess the PR life is over. But
Exactly.
I love, love, love what I do, and I feel so blessed
Yeah.
um, that I'm in this space, and and we always have these conversations between all of my PR friends, and
Mhm.
my real good PR friends that understand there's a space for everyone,
Yeah.
and so for me, there's no competition. If someone else gets the gig or whatever, I'm
Yes.
like, how can I help support? What do you need me to do? How do I roll up my sleeves and help? And they do the same thing. So I
That's
love
awesome.
the fact that and just help and collaborate and support one another so that
Right.
there's not a feeling of, oh, she got it and I didn't, or
Mhm.
I can't give you this contact because
Yeah, I absolutely get it.
none of that speaks to how I govern my life.
Right.
Because if I have to worry about all of that, then I'm going to be a dog walker and forget the PR.
Exactly. And like you said, you're community driven, culturally driven and community minded. So that plays into the community minded aspect of it. It's okay, well, how can we all win and how can everything be mutually beneficial for everyone involved? So I think that's awesome. So speaking about passion and excitement, I saw that you have worked on or have participated in some way with the Miami Carnival since 2003, right? That's a long time. And I love Carnival. I love soca music. All the island massives. I'm sure you love it too. So I want to talk about that a little bit. Like, how has that event transformed over the years? And what are some lessons that you think small business owners can learn from the transformation?
That is one of my babies. That is one of the, when I first moved to Miami, one of the things that I said was I wanted to work on Miami Carnival, having helped in when I, lived in New York, worked on that one, but not to the extent of what I'm doing now.
Right.
And I ran into someone who actually introduced me to Selman Lewis at the time, who was the chairman of Miami Carnival, who passed away some years back in 2008. And, and I met with him and I was like, I want to work on Miami Carnival. I don't, what do I do? What can I help with? And, he's like, are you really sure you want to work? And I was like, yes, I'm committed. I want to work. And I put together a proposal and they accepted it. And I was off and running.
Yeah.
And let me tell you, there was some lessons learned. There was some aha moments. I was like, what did I get myself in? Oh my God!
Yeah, be careful what you pray for, or what you ask for.
Exactly. So that's been one of my real, and I'm very hands-on. I'm actually on the board as well.
Yeah.
But it's kind of the start of my company really changing direction in terms of not just being the typical publicist, but really being very hands-on with our clients from the very beginning until, every aspect of the event, whether it's with grants, whether it's meeting with the commissioners and, the powers to be and, all of that different stuff. And that really was a turning point for me just in terms of my other clients, and just, and I think probably one of the things that I'm known for is not just doing the publicity, but I really work with the whole entire project.
Absolutely.
Because I think that you develop an advantage in terms of just learning every aspect of it. You get to work with, different people. You get to interact with government agencies, and you really, are able to increase the circle of people that you know.
Right.
So if you know about Miami Carnival, it has had its challenges from, location changes to, we had an unfortunate person that was killed by the fact that she got off the truck and, one of the masqueraders trucks ran over her. So we've had our share of to dodging hurricanes. So a lot of the stuff that I've had to do has also been crisis communications as well. So it's been a learning experience, but I love, for as much as it drives me crazy and it's time consuming, and I always laugh because I go, this is it. This is my last year. I'm not coming back.
I see you traveling all over when you're
yes.
Like, this is so amazing.
The perks are great. Develop, really good relationships with the carnivals and co-branding and everything. It's it allowed me an opportunity to travel. It's allowed me an opportunity to meet with other business people and bring sponsors on. So it's really given me some golden nuggets that I've been able to acquire and pick up and utilize. And it just really teaches you that it's really hard work. And I always laugh when I get interns, that because the way of the millennials these days and interns and it's that fast thing. And I go, no, it's about relationships. It's about developing a plan. It's it's a lot of work.
Right.
What I do, sometimes it seems like it's glamorous.
Yeah.
The behind the scenes and the amount of work and energy that you have to put into it,
Hmm.
sometimes it's not glamorous. It's
Right.
just,
So
it's a
it's not microwavable success is basically what you're saying. And it's not easy. Yes. There's a lot of work that goes behind the scenes,
my
even though it's a
interns
fun event.
sometimes they're like,
Yeah.
so are we gonna have lunch today? And I was like, oh yeah, what time is it? They're like 5 o'clock. Like, oh,
Like lunch, let's keep working.
why did we actually get one? And they were like, we did. It's like, oh, okay, sorry.
That's
Um,
excellent.
so yeah, so Miami Carnival has been amazing, and we're looking forward to this year and all the big
Mhm.
things, and it's been a learning process for me.
Right.
But PR wise, it's been phenomenal. We've gotten into international press.
Then.
So it's just really one of those kind of clients that and then I'm on the board as well,
Right.
so it's just it's a unique kind of situation, but it's one of my clients that I'm just like, you have this love hate. You're like, oh, you're driving me crazy. Like,
17
no,
years.
but what can I do
Yeah.
without you? I can do without you. So it's a really, just how you view your family sometimes, that your family just drives you crazy.
Yeah.
Without them,
It's the
so
same thing.
yeah, it's just like, oh gosh. But you have an appreciation, and because everybody, and it's taught me that you have different personalities,
Hmm.
um, and everybody thinks where they are and their age, and
Right.
it gives you an opportunity to respect and learn,
Yeah.
how other people will kind of navigate a journey.
Right. Right.
So
Exactly.
yeah, so it's been a lot of fun.
Amazing. Amazing. Okay. So I want to know what last gem you would like to drop on our viewing audience today. What is something that you want to leave them with, something that we did not discuss today? Anything from your experience?
So I just say, enjoy what you do, whatever business that you decide to start.
Hmm.
It's just like when you go to college, and people tell you to major in what you enjoy. You know,
Hmm.
I didn't actually do that. I was an English. I thought I wanted to go to law school. Um,
Right.
so I was an English major with a pre-law minor, and then I switched that and did political science. But I was an English major, so I had to write a lot of papers. Like I was
Right. Oh, so
in the
then that ends up tying
time.
into what you do today.
There's two things in
Right.
school I really, really, really value to today.
Uh-huh.
One is all the writing that I did.
Uh-huh.
The other one was, and you can't relate to this because typing in high school. My last year of high school, I had to take typing,
Uh-huh.
and that class was I believe that class was like 8 o'clock in the morning, and
Uh-huh.
I hated it.
Oh
Like,
my God.
oh, I,
I think I used to take typing actually. I grew up in Jamaica,
but I
so
learned how to type,
we weren't as
and I took
technologically
people.
advanced.
I thought I wasn't type.
We did do typing.
So now
We did not have a computer
working
lab.
on computer,
So
working on a
yeah, I can
computer
relate.
is nothing. It's just like it's nothing. It's it just I don't have to look. I could do it in my sleep. So
Right.
those are the two things that I really 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 grateful for. And I
Right.
just say that whatever you decide to do, make sure it's something that you love and that excites you,
Mhm.
and you get up before the alarm clock goes off, because you're just like,
Nice.
I just want to get up and I just want to do this.
Yeah.
And then honor the point where you get to where you don't love it anymore,
Mhm.
because what's great about life is that you have an opportunity to do so much. You can you can pick and choose what you want to do. You don't have
Mhm.
to do that particular profession for
Right.
30, 40 years. You can
Right.
say, I'm going to do it
Right.
for 10, and I'm going to do something else. So lost
Exactly.
a good friend of mine, and we went to her celebration of life, and she was just one of these people that would, she'd call you and say, yeah, girl, I'm this today. And you'd be like,
Wow.
hey girl, I'll support you in that, but
Yeah.
she really was a true testament to life is, you can do many different things, but
Right.
just be passionate about it and love it, and build that incubator of people that are going to support you when it does get to be like hard times, or you're
Absolutely.
frustrated and you need to bounce off an idea, so you have
Yes.
that circle of people going, yeah girl, you can do this,
Yeah.
you can
Yeah. You
do
need those
this,
people in your corner. Yeah, for sure.
right.
I
But
would not
the
be where I
piece
am
of
today without
the
those people.
Exactly. But the
Yeah.
passion and being excited about it and
Yeah.
not, I have a really good friend of mine that she hates going to work every day. And she's been doing it. She hates when I point out that she's been there for 25 years.
Yeah. Yeah.
She's
And
like, this
haven't
is
shifted or pivoted. Yeah.
and I'm like, you hate going to work. I can't even imagine doing something for a day that I hate.
Yeah.
More
Then
like,
can you talk about how do you get to that place where how do you know what it is that you're passionate about, or how do you find your passion? Because I think a lot of people have questions. They're like, they're trying to find their passion in the thing that they're most interested in, but they don't know what it is or how to get to that place where they're super
so I,
excited.
I, I encourage people when you're in, especially young people, when you're in
Mhm,
college, do an internship. I did an internship. I
mhm,
did an internship with a very prominent congressman in Queens.
mhm.
And I was gonna be a politician.
Right. Look how times have changed.
3 years, and I was like, I went to his office one day and I had a meltdown. I was like, I don't want to do this. I don't want to be a politician.
Yeah, yeah. Well, you found out
Great about
early.
that position was he allowed me, because one day I went into his office and I saw all of these invitations to like all these amazing places and
Yeah,
events, and I was like, "Are you going to all these?" And he was like, "I can't." He's like, "I'm just one person.
yeah.
I really need somebody on my team that would attend these things." And I'm looking at him, and he looked at me and he was like, "Well, would you do it?" I was like, "What?" And I was young. I was like, I was probably like 21.
Hmm.
20, and I was
Hmm.
like, "Yes." I didn't know any better.
Right.
I went to all of these, and that's where I developed the art of networking.
Nice.
And had it not been for that, I'm not sure where I would have developed that level of confidence to be able to just talk to anyone, no matter who they were.
Right. Right.
So I think in terms of you just have to explore. You have to research. You have to figure out how if you can do an internship, can you volunteer?
Right.
Because people say that they want to be one thing, and then when they get there, they're like, oh, I don't like this.
Not
This
what
is
I signed up for.
this
This
is
is not what I
not.
wanted.
No, I'm sorry. And I've had interns that have been like, yeah, I think maybe dental school sounds good to me. Like,
You're like, I wish you well.
I sure I want to do this. Yeah. So if you have an opportunity to do an internship,
Right.
volunteer,
Right.
and once you find that thing, you're not going to get like a notice. You're just going to know. It's just like how you know how you feel about your friends, your boyfriend, or whomever,
Yeah.
your child.
Yeah.
It's not something that you need a note for. You just know within your soul, like, this is the right thing,
Yeah.
and this is the thing that I want to do.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you so much, Yvette. It was a pleasure having you on today.
Thank you
Thank
for being
you
so
guys for
patient with
watching
me.
and listening. Tune in next week for another episode of Yvette Gems. I'm going to tag Yvette, and you can find her on social media. Where, Yvette? Where can they find
So
you?
I'm on Twitter, Yvette N.Harris.
Uh-huh.
No, I'm Yvette Harris at Yvette Harris PR on Twitter, and then Instagram we're Harris Public Relations. Yeah.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you, guys.
Thank
Bye.
you.